Yes! What is up, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, which if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. And if you've already done that, I fucking love you. Thank you. But seriously, now you need to turn on your notifications so you don't miss a thing, because you don't want to miss the good stuff like this transfer window video and my previews and my predictions and all the other good stuff that I like to do. And I'm going to try to have some of you come with me to games whenever I travel. Yes, I want to reward you for rewarding me. And I'm going to have some of that primed FIFA 20 content coming too. It's all happening. Anyway, let's get to it. And here's my list of the winners and losers of this transfer window, which I claimed would be the most exciting in many years. And I don't know if it lived up to that, but it was still pretty good. Good transfer window, Atletico Madrid. Now, sure, they lost Antoine Griezmann and Rodri and Lucas Hernandez and Gelson Martins and Nikola Kalinic on loan to Roma, and back four legends Diego Godin, Juan Fran, and Felipe Luis. And wait, actually, can I take this back? I'm just kidding, because it's clear that their manager, Diego Simeone, knows exactly what he's doing as he eases out the old and brings in the new, which includes nabbing the second best young player in the game today in João Felix, who I think could catch Kylian Mbappe as the best young player in the world. Okay, maybe not, but still, he's not too far off because the kid can play. And honestly, I think he's a better fit for Atleti's attack than Griezmann. Yeah, I said it. And with all that other cash that they got from selling all of those players, they made some very smart pickups in Marcus Llorente, who I think is going to be a very good defensive midfielder for them, and Mario Hermoso, who's already proven to be a very good center back, and Kieran Trippier, who in particular has done very well to help Atleti be on top of the table and perfect so far in this season after 3 La Liga games. I think they're title contenders. Good transfer window, bad transfer window, Chelsea. The good? They got a rival to buy David Luiz. Well played, fellas. The bad? It's because new boss Frank Lampard didn't have a transfer window to work with. However, he did have about 1,000 Chelsea players out on loan, so it was up to him on who to recall, and Michy Batshuayi, Mason Mount, and Reece James, though young, are all super talented. So I really like where Super Frank's head is at to trust the youth, but it was always going to be a tall order to replace the production of Eden Hazard and his overall impact on the team, and that's already shown so far this season. But I think this transfer window, or lack thereof, will be looked back on positively, because it will have provided opportunities to players that might not have gotten those opportunities otherwise, and now they get to prove their worth. Good transfer window, FC Copenhagen, because they got the Lord, Nicholas Bentner from Rosenborg, which means if Copenhagen don't win the Danish Superliga and the Europa League this season, then this club is not worthy of Bentner, and he needs to find a new team next season with some winners on it, not the other way around. Bad transfer window, Manchester United. And I say this by their standards, which, as we know, are very high, because they needed some help in a lot of areas on the field for this upcoming season, and they filled 2 of those needs by signing Aaron Wan-Bissaka at outside back, which I thought was a good move. He's a good player with great upside, and I thought they got him for a pretty good price. But then, and even though I know this filled a big void for them at center back, they 100% way overpaid for Harry Maguire, who I think is solid, but he isn't in the same class as Van Dijk or even Laporte. Also, as much as I love their signing of Daniel James, who could end up being a super bargain for them if he keeps playing the way that he is, they didn't solve a lot of their other issues, especially up top, since Romelu Lukaku pieced out to Inter. However, he did take Alexis Sanchez with him, and that has to be seen as a positive. And with Pogba still liking comments on Instagram asking him to come to Real Madrid, how is that situation going to play out as the season progresses? And for me, they need more answers to their questions, and I feel like they still have way too many questions to answer. Good transfer window, Inter Milan, because Antonio Conte in, Mauro Icardi out, finally. Romelu Lukaku in, Raja Nainggolan out. Diego Godin in, Ivan Perisic out. Pissarro, Sensi, Politano, and Barella in, and a whole bunch of other players that Conte clearly didn't think were good enough for him are out. And that's because this new manager has a vision of how he wants to play, and he's always good at identifying which players he believes can help him win things and which ones can't. And the guy doesn't put up with any bullshit, and I love that about him, and that's why Inter are going to be very good and very competitive as long as he's in charge. Bad transfer window, Real Madrid. Though I'll be honest, it only feels bad right now because none of their new signings, Eden Hazard, Luka Jovic, Eder Militao, Ferland Mendy, and Rodrigo, have really done anything of consequence or even played. While the player that manager Zinedine Zidane has been trying to get rid of publicly for over a month, Gareth Bale, has been one of the stars for them so far this season, which is actually f***ing hilarious. So yeah, the transfer window doesn't look good for them at this particular moment, especially since they just let go of their best goalkeeper to PSG for basically nothing. But they bought talented players, and at some point that talent is going to shine through, That is, if the club and its highly demanding fans can demonstrate some patience. But as we know, the words Madrid and patience don't really go together, so that is a big if, which means this season could end up being a dumpster fire. Good transfer window, PSG, because not only did the biggest challengers to them for their league throne, assuming you think they had any serious challengers to begin with. And I'm talking about Lille, who finished in second last season, and Lyon, who finished in third. Well, both of those clubs sold all of their best players during this window, like Nicola Pepe, Nabil Fekir, and Tanguy Ndombele. I think I said that one right, finally. And they also didn't adequately replace these guys either. And let's be honest, PSG got even better. Not only did they keep Neymar, which was a bit of a surprise given the amount of rumors swirling around him this summer, they added two players that both have something to prove in Mauro Icardi, who could prove especially vital to them at the moment given the current injury situation of Cavani and Mbappe, and offer them tremendous depth off the bench when they're competing in multiple competitions. They also added goalkeeper Keylor Navas, who honestly, not that I want to see PSG finally win the Champions League trophy that they've been trying to buy for years, but it would be pretty cool to see Navas, who helped Real Madrid win 3 consecutive Champions League trophies, only for Madrid to go out and buy another goalkeeper in Thibaut Courtois, win the Champions League this season, just to stick it in Madrid's face. Anyway, though PSG waited until the very last minute to finalize all of their business, they did do some very good business, so things are looking up for the Parisians. Bad transfer window, Liverpool. And before all of you Liverpool fans hit pause on this video so you can start typing, "Oh, this guy, this stupid American Yankee. How could he say that Liverpool have had a bad transfer window when we didn't buy or sell anyone of consequence?" But that's exactly my point. Your main rivals to win the league this season, Manchester City, continue to make improvements to their squad. They won the league 2 seasons ago on a record 100 points, and in that subsequent transfer window, they went out and spent more money on a player than they ever had to bring in Riyad Mahrez. These dudes already had De Bruyne, Sterling, Sané, and 2 Silvas. I mean, they were stacked, but they said, F it, we want to get even better. And even if that didn't necessarily pan out, because I still don't think Mahrez really fits into Pep Guardiola's system, it's a mentality. They're always trying to get better. So after winning the league again last season on 98 points, which was a bit of a drop off from the season before, City went out and spent a buttload of money to get even better by bringing in some super talented players in Rodri and João Cancelo. And what did Jurgen Klopp and Liverpool do? Yeah, nothing. Now listen, I love me some Jurgen Klopp, who I consider my dad, and I'm a huge fan of what Liverpool have done as an organization to rebuild this team into what is now an amazing to watch, fun-loving, and completely dominant on both sides of the ball team that are the reigning champions of Europe. I just worry that keeping things the same could end up working against them. But I hope I'm wrong, because it would be really cool to see them win the league. Good transfer window, Borussia Dortmund. And sure, you can say as a Bayern fan, but Super Bayern Munich got some game changers in Coutinho in the attack, who I still don't know how and where he fits in, sort of like James Rodriguez over the last few seasons. And they got Lucas Hernandez in the back, who I like, though I don't think he can replace the leadership and presence of Mats Hummels. Plus, if you're a Bayern fan, your perspective is going to be, well, they picked up some talent and experience in Benjamin Pavard and Ivan Perisic, which should give them the depth they need to compete in multiple competitions. Though, they just lost key talent and experience in Arjen Robben and Franck Ribéry. So, I don't really know what to make of Bayern Munich's transfer window. But what I do know, as a comparison, Borussia Dortmund got Mats Hummels back, which is huge from a leadership standpoint, which is what I mentioned earlier, and brought in potential game changers in Thorgan Hazard, Julian Brandt, and Nico Schultz, who were all purchased for 35 million euros each or less. And they made the Paco Alcacer loan move permanent for only 25 million, which I have to say is some excellent business for all of those players. So, after putting Bayern on notice with their big 2-0 win over the reigning league champions in the German Super Cup to start the season, I really expect Dortmund to push Bayern until the very end. Bad transfer window, Newcastle. Because my favorite club in England couldn't finalize the new oil money buyers that had some legit interest in purchasing the team. I mean, come on, Mike Ashley. Then they refused to give our Champions League winning manager the money he felt he needed to compete, so he left. Come on, Mike Ashley. And then we hired Steve Bruce, who has a career winning percentage of 38%, who once managed our rival Sunderland. Is that even allowed, Mike Ashley? And then we sold one of our best attacking players in Iosi Perez to Leicester. Mike Ashley. And even though I like our signings of Joel Ellington and Alain Saint-Maxime, we're f***s. So thanks, Mike Ashley. Good transfer window, Barcelona. Because you didn't think I would leave out the reigning La Liga champions, did you? Of course I wouldn't. After they picked up Antoine Griezmann from Atleti and snagging Frenkie de Jong from Ajax, which I think are two excellent moves in making their team better, though it is yet to be seen how Griezmann and Messi are going to coexist since Messi is yet to play this season, I still like how they're positioning themselves overall to transition from their aging core to some younger players. Most notably in 16-year-old superstar in the making Ansu Fati, who has already been a revelation in some ways this season, scoring 1 goal in 2 appearances, so he has the making of being a vital super sub for them over the next 10 months. Also, as a reminder, the dude is 16. At 16, I was trying to get my driver's license and trying to talk my grandma into letting me borrow her car to impress girls at 16. Now playing for Barcelona, so it's just... That's crazy. Also, what I appreciate about Barcelona and any other club that does this is them giving a chance to some players that they thought would work, like Coutinho, Malcolm, and Denis Suarez, but then moving them on if it was clear that they weren't going to work out or fit in with the first team. Now, we could argue that Barcelona could probably still use Coutinho on the team right now, especially since the Neymar deal didn't work out like they probably thought it was going to, and with Messi hurt. But if you're Coutinho, and you're 27 years old and you're in your prime and you want to play regularly, and if that wasn't going to happen with Barcelona, then I can understand why he was eager to move. I just don't know if Bayern is going to be the best fit for him either, but I wish him the best. But still, letting Coutinho go that easily could come back to haunt Barcelona, especially if key players are hurt for any significant amount of time during the season. Or maybe it won't, because then it gives players from their famed academy a chance to shine, like 16-year-old Ansu Fati, who we talked about earlier, or 21-year-old Carlos Perez. So I guess it just depends on your perspective. Good transfer window, bad transfer window, Arsenal. The good, Nicola Pepe and Dani Ceballos. The bad, they're already not good back four, might have gotten worse with the signing of David Luiz. Bad transfer window, Juventus. And that's not necessarily something that I believe, but here's some of the things that I'm hearing. Juve is old. De Ligt isn't as good as advertised. Why did they basically swap João Cancelo for Danilo when Cancelo is better? Why did they let Moise Kean go for basically nothing, because 30 million euros is nothing in today's markets? And I don't care if he came in on a free transfer. We're paying Aaron Ramsey what, a week? And why did we keep Paulo Dybala if we're not going to play him? And Gonzalo Higuain is going to be our starting number 9 for the whole season? What is this crap? Now, while I think there's some validity to all these questions, which would have me lean towards some uncertainty around Juve this season, especially because they brought in a new manager too, I really like this new manager, Maurizio Sarri, because he knows what he's doing, and he's proven it on many occasions. Now, he just needs to get that buy-in from the players, and if he gets that buy-in, especially from the older guys who are harder to convince, which I think he will, it's just going to take him a little bit of time, then I think Juve are going to add some more trophies to their trophy cabinet, though I don't know if that's going to include the Champions League or not, but maybe. And all right, that is it. That is all I got. And yes, I know there are about 20 other clubs that I could talk about having good or bad windows, but these are the 15 or 16 teams that I decided to focus on, so deal with it. Also, thank you for watching and for your support as always. Also, ×2, I will see you tomorrow when I do a challenge against some La Liga players to see if I would still be good enough to play in Spain's top flight. So you got to come back and watch. I'll see you then. Later.